So, how Freefall came about ultimately was a girlfriend who was having difficulty in a relationship and it actually ended. She was really, really upset. She came to stay with me and we were trying to put it all to rights and put it into perspective. The next morning, she woke up and I could hear all this crying and I was like, oh my goodness, I've got to do something. So I said to her, look, do I have permission can you just go with this with me? And she said, yeah, I'll try anything, I'll do anything. I just don't want to feel like I do now. I've been through breakup relationships before and then, months later, you're still trying to get over it and I feel really sad. So anyway, we identified how she felt because that's the first step in the process with Freefall. There's two sections to it basically. And the first one is like, what is your problem? What is going on for you? How do you feel? Perhaps it's a repeated pattern and that is very much so with a lot of us. We repeat things and, we don't want to repeat them, but it just happens, doesn't it? And there's no amount of changing it. It just seems to keep going on. And this is where my friend was at. So we sat down and I, as I say, discovered what the problems were. And then I just said to her, okay, right, I just want you to close your eyes because the Freefall process is an eyes closed process. And then I guided her into the unconscious, as I call it. There's our subconscious and unconscious mind. It's where everything is stored within us. It's an amazing place. I talk about that a lot more on some of my other videos, so I'm just going to keep it brief. But basically, from the Freefall point of view, what we did is we worked with the unconscious and I guided her through the traumas that she had. And the amazing thing about Freefall is it can take you to anywhere. Everyone is unique. As a trained NLP master practitioner, there were exercises that we actually did with people. There were specific techniques where you could kind of like guide them to, noticing whatever it was that was happening with them. So we sat down, the friend and I, we sat down and we looked at, as I say, what the problem was, and then decided, right, okay, the Freefall process is close your eyes and go into this issue. And what it does is it kind of takes you into the unconscious where everything is stored and it guides you safely and beautifully. And that's where I come in. I'm guiding you, I'm talking, and I was talking to my friend and just saying, okay, where is this going and how did you feel? And it just kind of went deeper and deeper. And there were things that come out in the Freefall process and did with my friend that were sort of like unknown to her conscious mind. There were things that were buried in there that she had no idea that she was hanging on to. And our unconscious protects us. Usually that's ultimately its goal. It wants to protect us. It wants us to be safe. It wants us not to have these experiences again. But of course, as human beings, we consciously choose to have these experiences again. We choose to, go into a relationship. And from an energy point of view, if we're carrying this energy in our field, in our vibration, our frequency is going out, don't hurt me, for example, then what happens is that frequency is being picked up by somebody that perhaps has also been hurt and they're going, don't hurt me. So what happens is we're vibrating these energies and then it all becomes very much unconscious because that's where it sits with us. And then it's not until we go into another relationship like my friend did and then it all went horribly wrong and she said, I don't understand it. So when in the Freefall process, what comes out is the reasons why you're attracting what you're attracting. The patterning becomes clear. And then what we do ultimately is move beyond those patterns, those problems, and those issues to a point of what I call source energy, of pure source, where we're literally, there is no resonance with that. That vibration that you've been carrying cannot exist because there is nothing but purity. There is nothing but pure consciousness. It's our unconscious mind's ultimate reality. They talk about things folding in and folding in on each other. And it's kind of like that, how when they talk about Einstein and all these people about the consciousness and reality, it's a similar thing. But, actually we are that consciousness. We are that reality. Then what happens is when my friend opened her eyes and came back she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was hanging on to that. And now it's in my conscious mind and now I'm aware of it. And now I've come back with this beautiful feeling that I have, because, you know, that's ultimately what happens with this peace, or this, what else? I don't know what to describe it as. It's just a purity. It's just like pure love, unconditional love for self. It then means you're vibrating that. And what happens, this therapy is also like the other therapies that I do, really, really subtle, like the energy healing and the readings. I love them all because it's just so subtle. You suddenly find that you're not attracting the same people, or you're not having the same experiences anymore. You feel more in control of your life. You feel more transparent, that you can share who and what you are. And this is what happens with the freefall as well. So really, to summarize the process, that's describing the process. There's two parts to it. There's the part where we talk about, and to be honest, if anything, that's the uncomfortable part. Sometimes people say, oh, you know, in counselling I talked about this and then I'm left with that feeling. It doesn't work like that. With the freefall, we might talk about it. It might temporarily be, and when I'm saying temporarily, it may be for 30 seconds you feel uncomfortable, and then we move on from it. And then we, you know, go through this process where you just become aware of what you are. It's almost like that, seeing yourself as the human that you are in the grander scheme of things, where you know that is just a very small, significant but insignificant part to the larger picture. And that's really how it is. And then it's like it just very subtly transforms. It's really quite amazing. So if you have any questions on anything else about the freefall, you know, again, fill in the contact form, let me know. Otherwise, I really look forward to helping you transition beautifully. If you've got any, it's brilliant for deep-seated, emotional, mental and physical blocks. It's absolutely awesome. And thank you for listening.